Assalamu alaikum. Is it working, this public address system, or not? Can you hear me at the back? All right? They don't. There is no feedback from here. No, I think it's improving. Can you hear me now? Loud and clear? The young man who is standing behind, I'm talking to you now. Can you hear me? Very good. So let's come to the brass tacks, okay?
So that's the line over there.
Question answers, please.
We'll
begin.
Over there.
Which one?
That whole line at the end.
That one, this one?
That's right.
That's it. These flowers are between me and you. Okay, now this is better. Haji. Walsalam.
Please could you tell me why we're not allowed to eat animals that kill their prey with their feet?
Come, you're facing the microphone. Here now.
Please could you tell me why we're not allowed to eat animals that kill their prey with their feet?
Why can't we eat the animals that kill their prey with their feet?
Because they're like beasts among the flying animals. You know, beasts are forbidden because beasts eat the flesh and live on the flesh of animals. So they have a ferocity about them which God does not want to be transferred to us. So those who have beastly nature among the birds, they are also forbidden. Now that is one moral reason. The other reason is such animals who live on flesh, they have very bad stench from their meat and very bad odor. It is even difficult to stand close to them. How can anyone eat their flesh? So that is why even the non-Muslims all over the world don't eat the flesh of either the beasts or like the birds of prey like you have mentioned. You understand?
Yeah, thank you.
So if suppose you were allowed, would you eat that meat? So you know the answer already, yeah? Thank you. Sam?
According to Islam, how was the earth formed?
How?
How was the earth formed?
How
was earth formed?
How was earth formed? The Holy Quran has not spoken of the earth alone, but has spoken of the phenomenon of creation as such. And according to the Holy Quran, both the heavenly bodies and the earth, and there are many earths, number one, you should remember, that according to the Holy Quran, that this is not the only earth we live on, but there are so many earths. Like there are so many heavens, so there are so many earths. So according to the Holy Quran, all this was found in one tight mass. A mass which was very tense, very dense, and which was like a ball which is tightly sewn together so that nothing which is inside can escape. كانت السماوات والأرض رتقا ففتقناهما. This is the verse which I have in mind. It says they were like a closely packed ball. Nothing could escape from it. Then we ripped it open. We tore it open. And suddenly the universe began to form. Then the Holy Quran says that the universe is, the creation of the universe is an expanding phenomenon. The Holy Quran speaks of this and says, we created the heaven and the earth for the first time, وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ, and we go on expanding them. So now the scientists have discovered the phenomenon of expanding universe. I mean, this has become a byword with every scientist. Nobody ever debates the issue now because it's as sure as a law of science. The universe continues to expand. So the Holy Quran, also speaking on this subject, says that a time would come when we will wrap them up like the wrapping of a scroll, and everything would return to its origin. So once again, the same phenomenon of, not the same, but a phenomenon like the phenomenon of black hole, which eats the matter up and is so gluttonous in its hunger that the more it eats, the more hungry it becomes, so that it absorbs everything and then compresses it to such a degree that you simply cannot fully realize how intense is the act of compression. You know, universe is like, not universe, let's say the solar system, for instance. You know how big the earth is, yet it's a small tiny fraction of the moon, of the sun. And all the stars put together and the sun, they are compressed by this black hole. When a black hole is formed in such a lunar system, or solar system, that the entire mass of the whole sun, the earth and the Plato and Mercury and Mars, etc., you know how small it would become? Can you offer a guess? Now, if all these things are attracted by a black hole and they are engulfed in the black hole and eaten up and compressed by the black hole, the whole of the solar system would be compressed to the size of a small hill, for instance, very small one, a few 100 meters radius, that's all. And if you make a needle out of that, the needle will be heavier than the Mount Himalaya, for instance. So that is the extent of compression. And it goes on compressing and becomes more powerful and more hungry. So in this way, sometimes not only a solar system like ours, but many other solar systems are reabsorbed into that black hole, and it becomes still more powerful and compresses it further. The scientists tell us that this phenomenon is so strange and so bizarre that we call it event horizon. Like at the horizon, the sun sets and we can't see it directly. So we cannot observe what is happening inside the black hole. But we know that it becomes hungrier and hungrier and more powerful and more, most intense in its activity. So it absorbs the rays of light, it absorbs the heat it generates and pulls everything back to itself. So it becomes very dark. That is what they call event horizon. Things have gone across to the other side. We don't know what's happening. Scientific laws no longer remain operative. So this is the black hole which is referred to in the first verse, that universe ultimately turns into a black hole and everything sinks into it, and it becomes a very small intense mass of something of which human mind cannot imagine what it is. Then Allah reopens it and suddenly it starts expanding with a big bang. This is what is called Big Bang Theory in the modern terms. So according to the Quran, the basic principles are explained, how the Big Bang took place, how ultimately universe will be formed and then return to the same stage of a compressed matter which is called black hole. And